بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف وجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. We continue our study of different sections of fiqh. As you remember, we said according to Muhaqqiq Hilli rahmatullah alayhi fi Shara'i al-Islam, we can divide all sections of fiqh into four. One is ibadat, which needs qasdul qurbah. Second was uqud, which need a special sigha, a special formula to be recited and has two parties. Third was iqa'at, which needs sigha but has one party, like divorce. And fourth is what he calls ahkaam, which doesn't need qasdul qurbah and doesn't need sigha. We were talking about ahkaam, and only three of them are remaining to finish this part. We already talked about kitabul qada, kitabul shahadat. The three remaining starts with kitabul hudud wa ta'zirat. Kitabul hudud wa ta'zirat. In Islamic penal code, we have two types of punishments. One is called hudud, plural for had. And that is when the measure is fixed. Okay? For example, for na'udhu billah, adultery, fornication, or drinking khamr, for example, for false accusation of someone who is a good person. They accuse, for example, this is na'udhu billah, a person who has done adultery. So there are punishments which are fixed. This is called had. But ta'zir is a punishment that is lower than had and is decided by the judge. Judge decides according to the intensity of the issue, according to surrounding condition, whether this person should be punished or not, and if he's going to be punished, how much should he be punished. This is called ta'zirat. For example, if a person in the time that there is a scarcity sells things very expensive, or for example puts things in a stock and doesn't bring to the market and causes a scarcity. Okay? So here the judge may do ta'zir, may decide that some punishment should be given to this person, but this would be lower than hudud. The next section is kitabul qisas. Qisas, retaliation. Quran says, "Lakum fil qisas hayatun ya ulil albab." There is a life for you, for society, in qisas. If someone commits a murder, for example, if it was unintentional, they cannot ask the judge to retaliate, for example, to kill him because mistakenly someone killed another. For example, a person was driving and hit another person and that person was killed. There is no qisas here. There is diya. We will talk about diya. But there is no qisas. But if a person decided to kill someone with any weapon or any means, or this is called qatl amd, intentional, deliberate killing, or shibhul amd. What is shibhul amd? Someone is fighting and hitting someone, doesn't want to kill him, but is fighting and hitting him, beating him, and then he gets killed. He cannot say, I have no responsibility. This is called shibhul amd. Although maybe he didn't want to kill him, but he was already beating him up and it led to killing. So, if it is qatlul amd, if it is deliberate killing, the guardians of the victim can ask for qisas. They can ask, that person also will be put into justice and executed. They can also forgive him. Of course, Islam says, if you can forgive, it's better. But sometimes, maybe they don't want to forgive. For shibhul amd, again, they have the right for qisas. Someone starts fighting your father, and then your father has heart attack and dies, for example. Okay, he has caused this. He cannot say, I have no responsibility. But if it is really out of that person's control and just happened, sometimes you are driving, a person comes and, it's hit you. In Iran, if a person who has no driving license, I don't know, every country is the same, or maybe countries are different. In Iran, if someone doesn't have driving license and hits someone, they call it, shibhul amd. But if you have driving license and you are, capable to drive, and a passenger, just comes and you hit, they cannot do qisas. But if it is without license, they can ask for retaliation. Because basically, like, you are killing some people without being able to drive. So, qisas is a way to show everyone that we are not indifferent to innocent lives being taken deliberately or almost deliberately. If you do this, you can be brought into justice by the guardians of the victim. Of course, this, if happens, it reduces the rate of crime. It's not that many people will be killed, because sometimes say, if you do this, then many people will die. But the question is not many people are going to die. The question is, when people feel that society reacts severely to crime, then they don't become criminal. Yeah? So, this is Kitabul Qisas. And then, the last one, according to classification of Muhaqqiq Hilli, and as mentioned by Ayatollah Mutahhari, is Kitabul Diyat. Diyat is plural form for diya. Diya is compensation that a person who has caused harm or injury to someone or to someone's property has to give. So it's not killing someone deliberately or almost deliberately that leads to qisas. It can be either killing without meaning, or suppose someone makes person eye either bruised or even totally damaged, break someone's hand, causes injury to someone, okay, then there is diya. Even if, God forbids, a father, mother beat their children and bruise the skin, there is diya. They cannot say it's my child. There's diya. You cannot bruise the skin of the child or any person. So, what is the amount that has to be paid? It depends on the case, on the severeness of the harm. Then Ayatollah Mutahhari refers to a discussion which is a very interesting discussion, and now in many legal systems they have this discussion about doctors. A surgeon, for example, does operation, and then the operation doesn't go well. Maybe the person dies, or the person becomes permanently disabled. Is this doctor responsible to give diya or not? Has to give the compensation or not? Normally, fuqaha say, if he was a qualified doctor, if he was not qualified doctor, he has to give diya. Yes. If he was a qualified doctor and does his job properly, and beforehand makes it clear with the ill person or his awliya, his guardians, that there is a risk here, and I am doing this with my best intention, and I do my best, but there is a risk, and make it clear to them and get their approval, then no problem. But if he's not qualified or is doing this thing carelessly, or he does all these things but has not taken permission and authorization from them, then he might be liable for diya. So it's very important that doctors make things properly. Also, if an educator, an instructor, a teacher does something to students, to children, who are brought for tarbiyah, for teaching, again, the same thing that can happen. They must be careful not to cause any harm or any, injury. The next and final lesson is about diversity of issues in fiqh. As you remember, we said any voluntary action is covered in fiqh. Yeah? Because everything that you do, which you have a control, a kind of ability to do it or not to do it, is discussed in fiqh. And it is either wajib or mustahab or mubah or makruh or haram. Any action that we do is one of these five. It has to be discussed in fiqh. And we have a wide range of issues, from tahara and salat up to bay and ijara and ju'ala and mudharaba, up to qisas and hudud and diyat. All are within the realm of fiqh. Of course, faqih is not necessarily an expert on economy or an expert on law in its modern sense, but faqih is an expert on Islamic law and knows what Islam says about these different areas of our life. Okay? So it's not that if you study, for example, fiqh, you become a good buyer or salesman. But at least you don't make anything against the will of Allah. But you have to also learn how to do business. That's another issue. Yeah, you have to do how to do ijara, how to do ju'ala. So we are not dealing with that aspect of it. We are dealing with our legal responsibility before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How we can avoid haram, how we can avoid disregarding rights of people. If I am not aware, maybe I disregard rights of people unknowingly. Or maybe I do something like usury or usurp. This is why in our hadith says, al-fiqh thumma al-matjar. First learn fiqh, then do business. If you want to become a doctor, you must start first before practicing. While you are going to medical training and education, also you must study fiqh issues related to your job. Any person, a farmer, a businessman, a bankman, they should also learn fiqh issues, because there is no area of life unless it is covered by fiqh. There are other ways of classification of fiqh, different from what Muhaqqiq Hilli has suggested, but I think what we discussed is fine, because we just wanted to get an idea about all different aspects of fiqh. We are not in need of more right now. Alhamdulillah, the book is finished about fiqh. And what I decided to do, because we have today and tomorrow, to discuss a little bit more about Ijtihaad and Taqlid, because I think it would be a good completion for our introduction to fiqh. So, from a very respected contemporary textbook on Usul al-Fiqh, which is Usul al-Stanbat by Ayatollah Haydari, who has passed away. This is someone who was in Iraq and passed away. He has a book which many people use it as textbook. And in Hose also here we discussed this book. It's online also, the sections I had on this book. But here also inshallah we go through it quickly about Ijtihaad and Taqlid. Our ulama discuss Ijtihaad and Taqlid sometimes in fiqh and sometimes in Usul al-Fiqh, because it's also related to Usul al-Fiqh. Sometimes also they research in fiqh. If you go to Risala, the beginning of Risala, you find Ijtihaad and Taqlid. If you go to books on Usul, normally at the end of Usul al-Fiqh, they discuss about Ijtihaad and Taqlid. So, first, what is Ijtihaad? He says, Ijtihaad literally means Badlul Majhood fi talab shay. Badlul Majhood fi talab shay. Do your best in seeking something. When you are searching for something, if you do your best, it is Ijtihaad. You know this hadith from Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam. He said about his own zuhd. And then he said, you cannot be like me. أنكم لا تقدرون على ذلك. ولكن أعينوني بورع واجتهاد وعفة وسداد. But at least help me. If you want to be with me, and if you want me and you to be together, so you don't need to become like me, but at least help me with iffatin. Iffa means modesty. And one of the things is ijtihaad. Wara, ijtihaad, iffa, sada. Wara means piety, taqwa. Ijtihaad means make efforts. Try your best. Sadad means to have firm and wise standpoint. So at least if you want to be with Amirul Mu'minin, do your best. We can never be like Ali, but we can at least try our best. So this is the literal meaning of ijtihad. But technically, في اصطلاح الفقهاء, according to fuqaha, according to jurists, what does ijtihad mean? معرفة استنباط الأحكام الشرعية من أدلتها. To know how to draw out, how to infer religious rulings from their sources. Mujtahid knows how to understand Quran and Sunnah and Ijma and Aql and bring out of them Islamic rulings. Because we as Muqallid may know ahkam, but we don't know how to bring them out. Yes? We have ma'rifah of ahkam. If you ask me, for example, even if I am not a mujtahid, I may know ahkam, but by referring to Risala. But mujtahid doesn't refer to Risala. Mujtahid refers to the main sources, to the Quran and Sunnah and Ijma and Aql. So, ijtihad is ma'rifatu istinbat. Istinbat means inference. Istinbat al-ahkam al-shar'iyya min adillataha, from their sources. Then we have two types of mujtahid. Al-ijtihadu imma mutlaqun aw mutajazzi'un. Mujtahid is sometimes mujtahid mutlaq, sometimes mujtahid mutajazzi. What does it mean? Mutlaq is the one who can do ijtihad in all sections of fiqh. This is mujtahid mutlaq. Tahara, salat, zakat, som, up to qisas, hudud, diyat. He can do ijtihad in all of them. This is mujtahid mutlaq. Mujtahid mutajazzi is the one who is just beginning his ijtihad. If he says, I am only mujtahid in this field. I am only mujtahid in ibadat, for example. I am only mujtahid in hudud or qisas or diyat, for example. He has not worked in other fields of fiqh deeply. He has studied, of course, because before you become mujtahid, you study all these books. But he has not exercised his own ijtihad in entire fiqh. Okay? So this is called mujtahid mutajazzi, from juz. Juz means part. Means he is mujtahid in part of fiqh. The partial mujtahid. Okay? One of the things that inshallah we will discuss later is marja' taqlid, according to main opinion in our fiqh, has to be mujtahid mutlaq, not mujtahid mutajazzi. Means must be someone that from beginning to the end of fiqh can have his fatwa, his opinion. He has worked on them. If someone can only discuss about certain issues, maybe for himself is okay. We will discuss about this. But people cannot do taqlid of him. So, huwa imma mutlaqun aw mutajazzi'un. Ijtihad is either mutlaq or mutajazzi. المجتهد بالاجتهاد المطلق هو العارف باستنباط جميع الأحكام الشرعية من أدلتها الجلية. Mujtahid mutlaq is the one who can do istinbat, who can infer, who can draw out all ahkam from their sources. Of course, when there are sources, don't say, there are cases that fuqaha say we have to do ihtiyat. So it means that they don't know what is the hukm. You say, okay, they do ihtiyat when the source is not clear. It can be interpreted differently. But this does not conflict with their ability of ijtihad. if a mujtahid says, I don't know what is the fatwa, but as ihtiyat we have to do this, is different from a non-mujtahid who says, I don't know. When a mujtahid says, I don't know, it's a high position. Because he has looked into everything and he says, I don't know. Yeah? Sometimes you go to a top specialist in cardiology and he says, I don't know. Then I cannot say, okay, so you are like me. I don't know, you don't know, so we are the same. No. He doesn't know. After looking into everything, he says, evidence is not clear for me. You don't know, because you don't know this area. You are not familiar with this area. They're two different things. وَالتَّجَزِّي هُوَ الْعَارِفُ بِاسْتِنْبَاطِ بَعْضِهَا كَذَلِكَ. Mutajazi only can understand from the sources some of the ahkaam. Okay. Question. Is it possible to have ijtihaad mutajazi at all or not? Because some people may say, what does it mean you are mutajazi? Because either you can have the power of ijtihaad or not. If you have power, you can do it everywhere. If you don't have power, you cannot. Yeah? For example, if you are an engineer, you build a house in London, in Birmingham, in Manchester. If you say, no, I am engineer, but I can only build a house in London, so you are not engineer. You cannot say, I am mutajazi engineer. The answer is, no, it makes sense. Because someone at the beginning of ijtihaad maybe is not confident, maybe he is not capable of ijtihaad in every field. Yeah, for example, even as a builder, maybe you can say, I cannot make houses where the land is slippery or on the coast, for example. It's not a problem. In the sense that you cannot say, no, it doesn't make sense. Either you are a builder or you are not a builder. If you are a builder, you can build everywhere. No. People can build their speciality little by little. So it makes sense that maybe a person who has become mujtahid, it takes him 10 years, 15 years, 20 years to have his fatwas right across all fiqh. It's possible. So you cannot say it doesn't make sense. It makes sense that someone is mutajazi. But can he rely on his ijtihaad or not? This is the second question. The answer, of course, can be different, but it seems a proper answer can be, or one of the at least adequate answers, yes. Because if he is really mujtahid, it means that he has been convinced that this is the ruling of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If he, as a person who is expert, as a person that in this kitab tahara, for example, has studied, has worked, has looked into sources, into texts, conflicting evidence, and he has made up his mind between him and Allah, he is sure that this is the ruling of Allah. For himself, he can rely on his ijtihaad. But other people may not be able to rely on him. Because for marja, we need someone who is familiar with the whole fiqh. What is taqlid? This is ijtihaad. A technical definition of taqlid is like this. جعل غير المجتهد عمله موافقا لفتوى المجتهد في الأحكام الشرعية. Taqlid means someone who is not mujtahid makes his actions according to fatwa of a mujtahid. So if I only say I have this person as my marja because I have put his picture in my home. Is it not enough? Or I say I have purchased his risala, I have his risala at home. This is not enough to say you are doing taqlid. Taqlid means that you do your actions in accordance to fatwa of this person. Yeah? At least some of your actions, you must, maybe you have not gone to Hajj, for example, so still Hajj has not become applicable to you, but at least for other things you have to follow him. You cannot just say, I am muqallid of this marja because I have his risala. It's not enough. Of course, some people say iltizam can be counted, it means that you want to follow him, but maybe to be on the safe side, this is a good definition, that you make your actions according to the fatwa of mujtahid in religious matters. So, taqlid does not need to be before action. Taqlid is a quality that comes with action. Yeah? According to this definition, when you do something in accordance to the fatwa of marja, this is taqlid. And this is very common among rational people. In every field we do taqlid. In every field we try to act according to the experts of that field. Either you actually ask them to do it for you. If you want to fix your car, either you ask an expert to fix it for you, or you say, tell me how to fix it. If you become ill, you go to a doctor and ask the doctor to give you the prescription. So sometimes we ask and we can do it ourselves. Sometimes we cannot even do it and we have to ask the person to take care of the whole process. In fiqh, we do the same. It's not an exception. In fiqh also we refer to the experts. This is a very rational way of referring to experts. And Islam and Islamic Sharia has endorsed what is the rational procedure. So it's not that Islam has introduced taqlid. Taqlid is a rational practice that has been there even before Islam in different fields, and we also endorse it. Okay? We have also many hadiths that teach us we should refer to fuqaha, to ulama. And inshallah we will mention some of these hadiths. There are hadiths that says, for example, ulama are warathatul anbiya. Al-ulama'u warathatul anbiya. They inherit from the prophets. What do they inherit from the prophets? They inherit knowledge. And we have to refer to them for knowledge. Let us refer to some hadiths. Hadith number 1. A person says to Imam alayhi salam, ربما أحتاج ولست ألقاك في كل وقت. Sometimes I need you, but I am not able to see you all the time. Sometimes I have a question, I need guidance, but I cannot see you all the time. أفيونس بن عبد الرحمن ثقة آخذ عنه معالم الدين. Is Yunus ibn Abdul Rahman, Yunus the son of Abdul Rahman, he was a narrator and a scholar, Shia scholar, in the time of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. So, I think it's Imam Sadiq if I'm not mistaken. Is he thiqah, reliable, that I take from him ma'alim ad-dini, teachings of my religion, ahkaam of my religion from him? Imam alayhi salam said, na'am, Yes. What do you understand from this hadith? That even in the time of presence of Imam didn't say, no matter how difficult it is, you must always come and ask me because I am here. Yeah? Imam says, if you don't have access to me, if it's difficult for you to come and ask me, ask Yunus ibn Abdul Rahman, for example. He's a reliable person. Actually, we can understand from this hadith even more. We can understand that this person, he himself was aware of this process. He was just wanted to check Yunus ibn Abdul Rahman. He didn't ask, is it possible to ask someone else? So the Shia knew that they can refer to reliable people. He just wanted to check with Imam. Does Imam put his trust in Yunus ibn Abdul Rahman? You understand? He didn't say to Imam, what should I do? Is it possible to refer to someone reliable? No, he just said, Afa Yunus ibn Abdul Rahman, thiqatun akhudhu anhu ma'alaman. Is he a reliable person that I can take from him my ahkaam, my religion? So, this is a very beautiful hadith. Another hadith. Someone asked Imam alayhi salam about whom he can trust in their religion. Actually, two people asked. Imam alayhi salam said, "I'tamida fi deenikuma." It's very beautiful. And even today, we can appreciate this very much. I'tamida fi deenikuma. In your religion, rely and depend on kull musannin fi hubbina. Someone who has spent long life in our love. Musin. Age is very important. We can have very good young people and we love them, but we don't learn our religion from young people or young scholars. Yeah? A young scholar can say what a marja, a great scholar, tells us. As long as they just relate to us, is fine. But never take a young scholar as your leader. Musannin fi hubbina. Must be someone who is aging in our love. 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. He has been in this field and has gone through lots of ups and downs and tests and trials. Kathir al-qadam fi amrina. Someone who has done a lot for us. So, I can learn from any person, any age, if they have knowledge. But leadership is different. Leadership needs wisdom, needs experience, needs credentials, needs history. We have seen in Jose many good people that they couldn't continue. I had in my own, madrasa, people who were very good, but they went to different fields. Of course, Allah knows what happened, why they left. We don't want to judge. But a stability, continuity, persistence makes an alim. Not just few years. You cannot trust. Yeah? You have to consider this when it comes to leadership. Another person asked Imam alayhi salam about whom I should refer to when I need guidance. Actually, the person who asked was Ibn Abi Ya'fur. He asked Imam alayhi salam, whom I should refer to when I need. Imam alayhi salam said, فَمَا يَمْنَعُكَ عَنِ الثَّقَفِ مَا يَمْنَعُكَ عَنِ الثَّقَفِ. What stops you from asking Muhammad ibn Muslim al-Thaqafi? Thaqafi was like his surname title. What stops you from asking him? Means it was already obvious that you can refer to such people. What stops you from asking him? Or in another hadith, Imam alayhi salam said to Shu'ayb al-Agharquqi, alayka bil-asadi, means Abu Basir. Alayka bil-asadi. You must refer to Abu Basir. Ali ibn Musayyib was told, alayka bi-Zakariya ibn Adam. You must refer to Zakariya ibn Adam. You know Zakariya ibn Adam al-Qummi. He's buried in Qum, and he's very, very special person. And hadith says that Imam told him, you are amanun. He wanted to leave the city of Qum. And Imam said, you must remain here because you are aman, you are protection for the city. Such people. عليك بذكريا ابن آدم المأمون على الدين والدنيا. The one that you can trust him in your religious affairs and in your worldly affairs. Whether it is money or it is mas'ali shar'i, you can trust him. Okay? Also, Imam alayhi salam said to Aban ibn Taghlib, اجلس في مسجد المدينة وأفتِ الناس. Imam Sadiq said to Aban, sit in Masjid al-Nabi and give fatwa to people. Imam himself is there in Medina. He's alive and he's in Medina. But still he says to Aban ibn Taghlib, sit in Masjid and give fatwa to people. فَإِنِّي أُحِبُّ أَنْ يُرَى فِي شِيعَتِي مِثْلُكَ. I love people like you to be seen in my Shia. People who are faqih, who are mujtahid. And people can refer to them and ask their questions. We have a tawqi from Imam Mahdi Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif in response to the question of Ishaq ibn Ya'qub. When Ishaq ibn Ya'qub asked, what should I do when we have problems? And he sent these questions through deputy of Imam. He got this answer. Very famous hadith. أما الحوادث الواقعة فارجعوا فيها إلى رواة أحاديثنا. When new issues occur, refer to the people who narrate our hadith. Means who are familiar with our hadith. They know what is authentic, what is not authentic. فَإِنَّهُمْ حُجَّتِي عَلَيْكُمْ وَأَنَا حُجَّةُ اللَّهِ. I am hujjah of Allah, and these people are my hujjah over you. Means I represent Allah on the earth, and these people represent me. I explain to you the will of God, and they explain to you will of me. And finally, for today, hadith which is from tafsir of Imam Hassan al-Askari. This tafsir which is attributed to Imam Hassan al-Askari, famous hadith. أما من كان من الفقهاء صائنا لنفسه. Any faqih who has these conditions. First, صائنا لنفسه. He protects his nafs from going after whims. He can maintain his taqwa and doesn't go after temptations of nafs. حافظا لدينه, who protects his iman, his faith, مخالفا على هواه, who rebels against his lower desires, مطيعا لأمر مولاه, he is obedient to the command of his master. فللعوام أن يقلدوا. Awam is lay people can do taqleed of such person. And hadith has continuation, says ذلك بعض فقهاء الشيعة لا كلهم. These are some of Shia faqih, not all Shia faqih. Because some Shia jurists may don't have that level of taqwa. Some people are not faqih, they don't have knowledge. But even those who have knowledge, they must have high level of taqwa. Taqwa of marja is not comparable to taqwa of Imam al-Jama'ah, ordinary alim. Taqwa of marja must be that much that if all his followers say, we want you to change your fatwa, otherwise, we are not listening to you, he should not bother at all. Don't want to follow me, don't follow me. I have a favor upon you, not that you have favor upon me. Unfortunately, dunya is, very much upside down. People think we can go to marja and negotiate. We follow you, we give khums, you have to compromise. It's the other way around. You have to be thankful. And if marja is really marja, he doesn't bother. People are happy with his fatwa or are not happy. He doesn't change his fatwa. So, لِلْعَوَامِ أَنْ يُقَلِّدُوا. Some people say, why Imam says لِلْعَوَامِ أَنْ يُقَلِّدُوا? Why Imam doesn't say عَلَى الْعَوَامِ أَنْ يُقَلِّدُوا? It's upon awam to do taqlid. But Imam says لِلْعَوَامِ. It's for awam, not upon. Why? The answer is because awam have another option. They can do ihtiyat. Taqlid is a facility. You can do taqlid. If you don't want to taqlid, okay, become mujtahid or do ihtiyat. So we don't say you must do taqlid. No, you can become mujtahid or you can do ihtiyat. Taqlid is a easy, convenient way that you put all the responsibility on someone else. Just make sure that you find right person. Put all the burden on him, and then you continue with your rest of activities. If taqleed was not there, either you had to become mujtahid or you had to do all the time ihtiyat. So this is a facility. Inshallah, we continue this discussion. We have one more session, inshallah, to finish this semester. May Allah, inshallah, increase the life of our maraja and give them, inshallah, tawfiq and more, inshallah, strength and more, inshallah, effectiveness and more, inshallah, as we say, nufuz, so that they can, inshallah, their opinions can penetrate to all affairs of our community, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin.